in the war in Syria now. Watch this report from Richard today.
At 11 a.m., attack helicopters circle the sky over the city of Ariha. From a rooftop, we hear their assault begin. It sounds like artillery and strafing from the helicopters. We move down to the alleys to try to find out why Syrian forces are attacking this city of 70,000 south of Aleppo. We see civilians fleeing from open areas, searching for cover, and rebels on motorcycles in the main square.
It appears that a large military convoy was passing by this town on the way to join the attack on Aleppo. And as the troops were moving past here, the rebels in this town opened fire on them.
In a makeshift rebel media center, activists try to upload videos of the attack they've taken with small cameras. They show me Syrian tanks are now firing into Ariha. The rebels attacked the convoy to prevent reinforcements from reaching Aleppo. But now this city is paying for it. Back in the alleys, men on a motorcycle tell us there are bodies up the street, many. In a mosque, we find them, along with their distraught relatives. Witnesses say the victims were civilians standing outside a mosque and attacked by a helicopter.
There seem to be many casualties here. 8 bodies have been brought. They can't even get them to the hospital, so they're just putting ice on top of the bodies. They can't move them around the city yet because there's still too much helicopter fire, still too much mortar fire coming in.
Men embrace the deceased. Oh, uncle, this man cries. The rebels in Ariha seem desperately outgunned and may have taken on a battle they can't win. Each fighter says he only has about 60 bullets and homemade grenades.
How are you going to defend yourselves against a tank assault?
God is with us, he says. Back in the media center, bad news has just arrived. One of the rebels' media activists has just been killed. One of more than a dozen killed in Ariha today. And the rebels never stopped the Syrian army convoy headed to Aleppo. Richard Engel, NBC News in northern Syria.
To repeat, Richard and his team that he's shooting with were able to leave Ariha. They are safe tonight. I should also tell you that NBC News confirmed tonight something that was initially reported by Reuters, which is that President Obama has apparently signed what's called a presidential finding authorizing unspecified support, apparently not weapons, but other kinds of support to the Libyan rebels, specifically to help them oust the Assad regime. In terms of what we are actually doing to help the rebels, it reportedly involves U.S. personnel helping at a secret command center operated by Turkey, along with some other countries. Frankly, the Syrian war seems to be on an almost infinite escalation track right now, but it is as hard to cover as ever. I'll be right back. Democracy is about 2 things. Democracy is about what the people say they want to do. But it's also about who counts as the people. In the last couple of years, a bunch of states across the country have made it harder to vote, harder to register to vote. The idea is to shrink the electorate so a smaller number of people get to decide what happens to all of us. And so nobody has to vote. You don't have to vote. We all have the right to remain silent. But if you do not vote, if you are dissuaded from voting because it has gotten harder, you are fulfilling somebody else's plan.
Some call it a graveyard to American workers. It's a field filled with shipping containers. They came to the United States filled with goods made by foreign workers, but they're still here because we haven't filled them up and shipped them back. These are American jobs. This is nothing but a monument.